Welcome back to Tuesday, everyone, where we check out the vendors that have changed their wares, starting with the Telvar Merchant. First up, we have treasure maps. I would not recommend Gold Coast treasure maps for 6,000 Telvar. I think they're a lot cheaper through traders, but if you're curious, Gold Coast gives us Flanking Strategist, Hide of Morehouse, and Sithis' Touch, as well as a chance for one of 4 book furnishings if the character digging up the map has learned the eidetic memory for those books. If you're not sure how that works, we have a link below. Our first lead is Anu Crest, which is part of Monomyth Reforged and drops out of the Green Shade Public Dungeon, Rulaniel's Fall. Next up, lead Length of Sharpened Spikes. This is part of Shapeshifter's Chain and drops from the final boss in the dungeon Spindle Clutch 2. So not a horrible one, but 25,000 Telvar is pretty steep, so it really breaks down to if you run more dungeons or run more Imperial City. Our jewelry this week, we have Vengeance Leech necklace and ring, as well as Vice Cannon necklace and ring if you need any of those. Our scripts, we have Bound Affix Script Magicka Steel, adds Magicka Steel, a debuff granting Magicka Restoration to attackers. Bound Focus Script Shock Damage, of course adds shock damage. And Bound Signature Script Wayfarer's Mastery adds improved functionality of skill line passives. Finally, we have Fragment of the Wolffather. This is one of 5 pieces of the Roar Verdant Green skill style and drops from the Bankurai World Boss Lake Watch Tower. This is a guaranteed drop if you kill that world boss. I know a lot of people are going around trying to kill world bosses on Vestige right now, so this might not be a bad time to just try to get that one yourself, but if you prefer not, it's here for 5,000 Telvar. All right, let's go check out the Scholarium and see what new scripts are this week. All right, we've made our way to the Scholarium. Let's see what we have. First up, we have Bound Affix Script Defile, adds Defile, a debuff reducing healing received. Bound Affix Script Protection adds Protection, a buff reducing damage taken. Bound Focus Script Multi-Target adds a multi-target hit. And Bound Signature Script Crusader's Defiance adds removal of debilitating effects. All right, one more stop. That's Infinite Archive. All right, let's see what Filer Ul has for us today. We're starting off with Westweald Treasure Maps. This one's actually a good one, and I don't mind the 2,000 Archival Fortune price tag. Not only does Westweald bring us Ayleid Refuge, Macabre Vintage, and Symmetry of the Weald, that's not the exciting part, but there are 10 different furnishing leads that you can get from Westweald Treasure Maps. Now remember, if you dig up a furnishing with antiquities 3 times and complete the codex, you can then start buying that furnishing with gold from the achievement vendor. So if you're into housing and you want to be able to just get these whenever you want, then you might want to get all 10 furnishings, which means 30 leads. They have to be 3 of each, and you know they're not going to come in the right order. That involves a lot of maps. So this is not a bad deal if you're somebody who's into housing and cares about the ability to buy them for gold. Next up, we have Big Ear Ginger Kitten's Collar, which is one of 7 pieces of course, the Big Ear Ginger Kitten pet. This one drops in Carnwayston in Somerset. They've made it a little bit easier to get your first one each day when you run into the public dungeon, or they sell for about 1,000 gold a piece on PCNA. It is a super cute pet. Definitely recommend. I don't think it's worth 3,000 Archival Fortunes, though. Next, we have our plans. First up is Breton Dresser Knotwork Blueprint. This one runs about 23 to 37k on PCNA. On PCEU, I see 2 listings for about 20k a piece. Not a horrible deal for 2,000 Archival Fortunes, but next up we have Blueprint Leyawen Divider Octopus. This one runs 50 to 178k on PCNA with 6 listings. On PCEU, again, I see 3 listings for about 40 to 45k, so not quite as lucrative on PCEU. And of course, remember, these are bound when you buy them this way. They're bind on pickups. You can't sell them. So when I say lucrative, I just mean that you can save yourself some gold by buying them with Archival Fortunes. All right, this is the one I'm more excited about. Blueprint Vampiric Wardrobe Ornate runs about 360 to 400k on PCNA. about 105 to 135k on PCEU, but definitely the one where you get more bang for buck for your 2000 archival fortunes. So that one's pretty exciting. Next up, we have the Dama House mask style page. Remember, masks drop only in about a 4-day window once they come back into the store, and you have to run it on vet. The style page has a chance to drop on vet. It has a better chance of dropping if you've gotten the hard mode achievement in that dungeon, but you're still probably going to end up running it several times to get one to drop. You might get lucky. I've run upwards of 12 to 20 times and not had one drop for me. So I definitely think whenever a mask comes out, it is worth 15,000 archival fortunes. Just time investment alone, I would rather farm archival fortunes than run a vet dungeon over and over and over and over again during a 4-day window hoping to get a drop. That's me. Totally up to you, but I do recommend the masks. Next up, we have Ciphers of the Eye. This is one of our book furnishings. Remember, you need to know the eidetic memory. It needs to be in your library before you can buy this book or before you can get it in the wild. This one normally drops in Infinite Archive, and the eidetic memory is in Ciphers Midden in Apocrypha. Next up, companion equipment jewelry. I typically do not recommend companion equipment from Infinite Archive. It is also bind on pickup. But jewelry isn't quite as bad because your RNG is slightly improved, because you're not worried about heavy, medium, or light armor or what kind of weapon. You're really only worried about what trait you get, because you're guaranteed either a necklace or a ring, right? So you have a better chance of being able to use what you get, because remember, you can't sell this if you get something that you don't want. So of the companion equipment, jewelry is the one that I don't mind as much. Our second book this week is First Mate Dalmir's Log. This one also drops in Infinite Archive, and the eidetic memory comes from the quest in Apocrypha, Fate's Proxy. All right, our first lead this week is Chain of the Vampire. This is one of 5 pieces of Shapeshifter's Chain, and this one drops from Harrow Storms in the Reach. I might skip this one this week if I were you. There are so many people running Harrow Storms right now trying to get the achievement on their Vestige difficulty that I think I would just take advantage, at least for part of this week, and try to get it naturally. But if you don't by the end of the week, it's here as a backup. Let's go ahead and skip down here to the second lead. Cracked Dwarven Gear Shafts. This is part of the Ebon Dwarven Wolf. You can only get it one time. And this particular lead drops from the Rift Delve Avanshanzel. All right, skipping back up here. Archival Riddles. Consume 20 Archival Riddles to unlock the Archival Veteran Achievement and the Veteran of the Infinite Body Art. Here is the Veteran of the Infinite Body Art. At 3,000 archival fortunes apiece, when you need 20 of them, that's awfully expensive. I would rather see you just do the dailies. They are a guaranteed drop in a curated order. You'll get the mount first, etc. But eventually you will get everything. And at 60,000 archival fortunes to get the entirety of this body art, that's just too expensive, I think. All right. Scripts this week, we have Bound Affix Script Savagery and Prophecy. Add Savagery and Prophecy buffs, increasing weapon and spell critical chance. Bound Focus Script Flame Damage adds flame damage, of course. Bound Signature Script Thief's Swiftness adds improvement to your mobility. And we have Fragment of the Wolf Father. If this looks familiar, it's because we just talked about it in the Imperial Sewers. This one is, again, part of the Roar Verdant Green skill style that drops off of the Bankerai World Boss, Lake Watch Tower, and we just saw it in the sewers. So you get to choose whether you want to buy it with Telvar or Archival Fortunes, or if you just want to go kill the World Boss and get it that way, because again, it is a guaranteed drop. All right, that is it. Let's run some Infinite Archive and see what new gear is dropping this week. Dama House Mask from Falkreath. I don't know that I've ever paid attention to this one. That is fugly. That is so ugly. Aha, Mr. Marauder. Nicely done. Ooh, I got a lead. We just finished a couple arcs of Infinite Archive, and it looks like this week we have gear dropping from Starter Zones, which is just the trainee gear. And then we also have gear dropping from Hrothgar, which includes Briarheart, Mark of the Pariah, and Trinamax Valor. And that's it. That's going to do it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.